welcome to your first video lesson on Unit 2. So Unit 2 Part 1, we're combining like terms. Reminder to either print these notes out or load them up on a tablet so that you can take your own notes, or if neither of those are an option, just use a notebook to copy down important terms and examples. Another reminder is that we have a link here to the textbook, so I'm just testing it out here, make sure it works. Internet's taking a moment, but yeah, here it is if you feel like you need a little bit more reading after the video lesson or before it. Another thing is you can pause, rewind, fast forward, play on double speed if you want to, or slow it down if you want to as you're watching these videos. All right, without further ado, an algebraic expression is a collection of numbers and or variables that are combined by using the operations of arithmetic. In general, a term is a product or quotient of numbers and or variables. A single number or variable is also a term. The numerical factor of a term is called the coefficient of the term. And we have a table here, and we have some terms and we want to determine the coefficient. So I'm going to grab my highlighter here. So on 8y squared, the 8 is my coefficient. So I'm just going to write an 8 here. In negative 0.9 pq, the number in front, remember that's our coefficient. I'm trying to get the right size highlighter here. Negative 0.9. In 3/4 b, the coefficient would be the 3/4. Ooh, the next one's a little tricky. Negative x over 6 could also be written, I'm going to write it over here to the side, as negative 1/6x. So it's kind of a way of combining it into one fraction to write it as negative x over 6, because x times 1 would just be x. Hopefully that makes sense. And then our coefficient would be negative 1/6. This happens a lot when there's nothing in front of the variable. So I recommend that students write a 1 there, and then that 1 is going to be your coefficient. Likewise, with the next one, negative t, that's the same as negative 1t. So the coefficient is negative 1, and then the coefficient of just a number is the number itself. Like terms are terms with exactly the same variables raised to exactly the same powers. So they have to have both to be considered like terms. So not only the same variable, which is a letter, right? But also that variable has to be to the same power. So maybe it doesn't have any power at all on it. So it would go with other variables like it that didn't have any power on it. So any numbers or constant terms in an expression that are considered to be like terms. Any numbers or constant terms in an expression are considered to be like terms. So if you just have a plain old number, that's going to go with other plain old numbers, even if it doesn't have. So I'm talking about terms that don't have any variables in them. They're just number terms. And then terms that are not like terms are, this is going to blow your mind, they're called unlike terms. So here's some examples in the table below. 4x and 7x would be like terms. They're both x's and there's no power on them. But 4x and 7y are not, because one's x, one is a y. Negative p squared, 10p squared, and let me see, I thought I had, here it is. Negative 10p squared and 5p squared are like terms. But these are not like terms because we're missing the square on that p. 1/3 CD squared, or sorry, 1/3 C cubed D. I don't know why I said that. And C cubed D. Those are like terms. They're both C cubed D's. But 1/3 C cubed D and just C cubed are not like terms because this is missing the D. 5, this is, okay, so 5 and 5 doesn't have anything with it, but 5 and 13 can be like terms, but something like 13 and 13b would not be like terms. So I'll have to make sure I fix that in the notes. All right, so what we can do when we have like terms with algebra is we can combine them. So this can be a little confusing. When you're combining like terms, you put the coefficients together, but the variable stays the same. You never change the power. What students like to do, don't write this down, but what students like to do is write this as 5x squared. They think when you put the two x's together, you get x squared, but that's not correct. So I'm going to put a big purple X around that. What we would do instead is add the 3 and the 2 together, and then just keep whatever variable it has. For B, I like to put a 1 here. So 1 minus 7 would be negative 6c plus 2c, which is negative 4c. Example C, 6g plus 5 minus 3g minus 7. You might want to move it around so that your like terms are together. So I can put that minus 3g to go with the 6g, and then plus 5 and minus 7. When you're doing this, the only thing you have to watch out for is whatever sign is in front of the terms that you're moving, that sign needs to go with them. So the 3g has a subtraction in front of it. So when I move it, I'm going to keep that subtraction there. So 6g minus 3g is 3g, and then 5 minus 7 is negative 2. So you could do plus negative 2, or you can do 3g minus 2. Either one of those would be correct. D, 8p plus 4 minus 8p minus 15. Again, I'm going to put my like terms together. So 8p minus 8p plus 4 minus 15, keeping all the signs where they should be. 8p minus 8p, 8 minus 8 is 0, so those are canceled out. That is the correct term for canceling, is when you have one positive, one negative of the same amount. And then 4 minus 15 would be negative 11. That goes back to what we did in Unit 1 when we're adding 4 and negative 15 together. Then you subtract the smaller from the bigger, which is 11, but keep the sign of the bigger. E has some decimals, but again, I want to move my variables so that they're together, or my like terms rather. So 7.9y minus, I'm going to put a 1 here, minus 1y, and then minus 0.07 plus 0.2. You'll notice that I put a 0 as a placeholder. That really should be there. And probably by the time you look at these, it will be. You don't have to have that 0 in front of the decimal. It doesn't change anything. It's just a good placeholder to indicate that the whole number is 0. So 7.9 minus 1 is 6.9. And then I'm going to keep that y that's there. And then negative I have a negative 0.07 plus 0.2. So if I subtract them, I'm going to kind of come over here. I have 0.2. I'm going to put some zeros, a 0 after it, so I can line up the decimal, put 0.07. And I'm going to subtract it. So 10 minus 7 is 3. I had to borrow 1, so I get 0.13, but the larger number is the 0.2 and it's positive, so it's going to be positive 0.13. So this brings back some of our Unit 1 lessons to re-explore. And F has 8h plus 13h minus 6 minus h. Since I've been doing it all along, I'm going to put all the h's together. So 8h plus 13h minus h minus 6. And I'm also going to put the 1 in front of the minus h because that helps me. 8 plus 13 is 21, I believe. Oh, I grabbed a new color by accident. So 21h, and then I'm subtracting a 1h minus 6. So that'll be 20h minus 6. Now I can't put those together because they are not like terms. One has an h and one doesn't.